Wednesday. I don't even want to say happy Wednesday, to be real honest, but it's Wednesday. And I'm excited to be here with you all today to recreate this project. But I'm sure, as everyone else here, it's kind of been a little bit of a, dreary time here in East Tennessee, actually in the world since yesterday around this time. But we are here. And we are bringing you a great craft today. Y'all know that I feel like everybody has been posting, about Miss Dolly, and it's a sad time in the world right now. Just point blank, period. It's a sad time. But I'm here with you all today on this Wednesday to maybe bring a little bit of joy and teach you how to create these layered appliques on your clothing to maybe bring a little bit of joy to your wardrobe too. So if you all are ready, once again, thank you guys so much for being here with us today. Pop off in the chat. Let me know where you're visiting us from, how you all are doing, if you all are, how you're holding up. I feel like, here's the thing. I feel like a lot of times we create these parasocial relationships with people, with celebrities. But to me, I read something with that said, Dolly was more than a celebrity. She was a kind of like an invisible thread that ran through all of our lives, whether that is her words of encouragement, her outreach, her giving back. And it's one of those things, like, if you feel the loss, it's okay to feel that. It's not as parasocial, because when she was as ingrained in our lives as she was, it is something that we do need to grieve the loss. Even if we didn't know her personally, she brought joy to us and joy to our lives. And so, yeah. Anyway, with that being said, let's go ahead. First of all, here are the adorable overalls that we have created. Look at the little tomato patches all over these overalls. So stinking cute. I'm obsessed. So I'm going to be teaching you all how to make these layered appliques. Do you have to do tomatoes? Absolutely not. You do not have to do tomatoes. You can do whatever type of layered applique that you want. We do have the actual tomato file linked down below for you all if you do want to use tomatoes. But if you are not a MGL Plus member, one thing that you must know is that we now have what we are calling the studio inside of our MGL Plus membership, where you can create really any SVG that you want. And I'm going to show you a little bit of how you can do that. And if you are not part of the MGL Plus membership, we are offering, so we do have a trial. We've actually lowered our trial from $7 to $1. So if you haven't gotten a trial yet, go ahead and grab that for $1. It's pinned in that top comment. So make sure you grab that if you are not an MGL Plus member. Brenda says, I need to grab me a pair of overalls. These came from the thrift store. Check out your thrift store first. Check out your local thrift store. Actually, almost everything that we are using today, at least all of the clothing and the fabric, we got from thrift store pieces. This was an old button-up shirt. This was part of a fabric bundle at the thrift store. If you check out your thrift stores, you can find fabric bundles. These were all, I think this was also part of like a little fabric bundle that we got at the thrift store. These, honestly, I love these little capris. I'll probably be wearing them pretty soon because I got these and I thought of myself for these. So these also came from the thrift store. So this is definitely a project that you can get almost all of the materials from the thrift store. Obviously, you're not going to be able to find your heat and bond from the thrift store, but other than that, check out your thrift stores to get all of this, especially if you are new to creating these iron-on patches. Guys, you do not have to have a special Cricut machine for this. This is going to be cut out of bonded cotton, so we're pre-bonding the cotton. So you can, I'm going to teach you how you can cut this on any Cricut machine that has a fine point blade. It's super easy, and I think you all are going to love it. So let's go ahead and go overhead and talk about all of the supplies that you are going to need for today. Starting off strong, literally no pun intended, you are going to need a strong grip mat or a fabric grip mat. This is very important because we are going to be putting our fabric onto our mat, and we want something that holds it very, very well. Do you need to pre-wash? That's going to be completely up to you. If I'm getting something from the fabric store, I'm going to wash it. That's just my, I mean, you don't have to pre-wash. With this Heat and Bond Ultra, it's going to hold. You are going to need to let it sit, and I think before I wash it, I would let it sit at least 48 hours before washing. I'm looking to see if it says on here how long. It just says machine wash, delicate cycle, warm. Tumble dry, do not dry clean, no steam, iron on a medium setting, okay? So I would, if it's, I would probably pre-wash what I got from the thrift store, but once again, that's your call. So we're starting out with a strong grip mat or a fabric grip. I have a strong grip here. I just really like a strong grip mat. All of our, like I said earlier, all of our fabrics here did come from the thrift store. You can get fat quarters from Walmart, Amazon, whatever, but find whatever piece of article clothing. It doesn't have to be jeans. I feel like what we have here in the studio right now is like this is actually a stretchy denim. It's not a true denim. It can be a sweatshirt, a t-shirt, jeans. There is no necessarily no fabric style or type to stay away from. It doesn't say like you can't do this on polyester or any other type of material. So really and truly, grab whatever fabric you want to use. And then other than this, I do have some Scotch tape here just in case I feel like I want to tape it down, just so it doesn't move. That's going to be up to you all. It really just, I like to have this around as a craft, I don't want to say product, a craft, what am I trying to say, supply. I like to keep Scotch tape around as a craft supply no matter what I'm doing, just in case I feel like my mat is not holding my material down. You are going to need Heat and Bond Ultra Hold. It is very important that you get the Ultra Hold. There is a light hold, and then there is an Ultra Hold. We want the Ultra Hold for sure, okay? Ultra Hold, period. And then the last thing that you are going to need is some type of heat source. Here I have, this is not the Cricut brand, this is off-brand from Amazon. Our current Cricut Mini Easy Press, the one that we had in the office, bit the dust the other day, so I had to throw it away. I don't know, I guess we've had it for years. And then our other one is at the other studio at Tanner's house. So we are using this one today, just some type of Mini Easy Press. And then the last thing that you are going to want to grab is going to be some type of pressing mat. This is just going to help ensure and hold that heat in. If you do not have a pressing mat, grab a towel. We're gonna double up a towel and we're gonna use it as a pressing mat. And y'all, if you don't have a pressing mat, you can still do this. It just helps keep that heat there so that Heat and Bond Ultra gets bonded to the fabric, okay? Now you may need some scissors just to cut up your fabric. We are gonna be using our handy dandy brayer to bray our fabric down onto our mat. Other than that, I think that is just about everything that you are going to need to complete this project. So, with all of that being said, first thing we're gonna do, and this is with any project, especially like apparel project, I like to kind of get an idea of what I want to do on my actual piece of clothing first. So let's go ahead and lay this down. And this is just to help us. This is, you can see, I can't get it all in the shot. But this is just to kind of like map out where I want things and how large I want things. We also do have some of these already pre-cut. I'm going to show you how to do this top to bottom, but let's just, like for example, just to kind of get an idea, you may want to make it larger, but lay your piece out and get your measurements. So, oh wait, that's something else that I forgot to add, and I know where the measuring tape is this time because it was me. I was the one that grabbed it out of the film room yesterday to use it in here while I was crafting. So hold on just a minute. I'm going to grab my measuring tape. You would think we would have more, but we keep going back to the same one. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of measure this area. So I really don't want it to go over 7 inches. I don't want it super close to the crotch area. So, you know, 6 by 6 is going to be large. So we may even do like 5 by 5 here. And what I like to do as I'm going, I'm just going to keep a running list of the sizes that I need. Here's a little notepad that we made in one of our lives. So one area, we're going to do a 6 by 6 design. Then I may want to actually, another thing that I thought would be cute is what if we did a design like on the whole like side of the leg that went from like front to back. So like if I laid this out here, I think this could be cute. So how large is this area? So I could make this one. I mean, 8 by 8 is going to be really large, but maybe we could do like a 7 by 7. Let's think about that. We'll do question mark. And then, of course, I'll probably do some little 4-inch ones down here, like a little 4 by 4 here. So we'll do 4 by 4 times 2. And then we can play around with it from there. So I have my measurements kind of written down. After kind of mapping it out, also do not feel, we don't want to leave the back out because I like for it to be like both sides. So we may add another 6 by 6 like down here. So I'm going to do this one times 2. Beautiful. Yeah, so Nancy, I'm going to do one down the side over here, not like the whole thing, but like if you were to do the whole thing down the side, it would be super cute. So now that we kind of have that mapped out, what we are going to do now is we're going to head over to Design Space. Now you can see here, I already have these tomatoes pulled into Design Space. So if you just want to do the tomatoes, you can come over here to the Makers Gonna Learn website. This is linked down below for you all. It is the single tomato file. Very simple, very easy, 2 layers, that's it. But if you did not or do not want to do a tomato, what you can do is you can take a screenshot of this. If you are a Makers Gonna Learn member, you can take a screenshot of just this simple tomato, and you don't even have to take a screenshot, but what you can do is come over here to the studio, boom, connecting to Maker Studio, and then up here where it says generate, we're going to click SVG. Now, from there, what you can do is if you do not want a tomato, let's say we wanted a, what would be another one that we could do? Like a strawberry. So we'll keep it in a square ratio. I'm going to add a reference image here. So this is just the screenshot that I did. Create a simple, simple we'll do 3-layer because I do think that strawberries, avocado would also be really cute. Cherries would, okay, let's go with cherries. A simple 2, do we want to do 2 or 3 layers? We'll do 2 layers. A simple 2-layered cherry SVG, much like the uploaded reference image. Please make the cherries a layered, I want to change it here, a layered double cherry SVG. The cherries should be attached by a, should both be attached to a stem, and the stems should come together and be attached, and both at the top, I guess. And then we're going to see what it does right here. And I actually want to change it from a square to a portrait. Generate. Jennifer says pumpkin, avocado, all of these are so good to use. And don't even just limit yourself to like fruits. You could do like some fun smiley faces, or you could really do whatever you want. You could do like, Jennifer, somebody said, Nancy said, a good way to rescue my favorite pants that accidentally touched paint. If you are an artist, you could do like an artist palette and a paintbrush. So many. Okay, those are just tomatoes on stems. Okay, so that's not it. That's not a great, let's keep going. That's just tomatoes on stems. That does not look like cherries. That's not great. Yes, a sunflower would be great. So I want to go to, let's just go to Google, cherries, images, cherry illustration. Oh no. Okay, so you've maybe changed my mind. Do we have any black fabric? I would almost have you go look for me some black fabric.
Is it in here?
Yeah, it is.
Or even like a very dark blue to match the
Yeah, one of those. Maybe I want to do a ladybug. Actually, I think I want to do a ladybug.
HTV? Well, it could come off in the wash.
Ladybug illustration. Okay, yeah, I want to do a ladybug. I want to do a ladybug. This is so cute. Okay. I think a ladybug with the tomatoes would be totally so adorable. So stinking cute. Yes, those are tomatoes on stems. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to, these are cute. Ooh, I like these. Let's do something like this one, or maybe just this one. No, I like this one. Okay. So what we're gonna do, oh no, come on. Nope. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. Then I'm gonna come back to the studio. I'm going to create another because that one's not good. I'm going to change it to a square. I'm going to add in my reference image here. create a simple 2-layered SVG for me to cut on my Cricut of a ladybug that looks similar to the reference image. If we just have an old t-shirt, I'll use an old t-shirt. And then generate. Donna says, you said you use Lone Star adhesive. I've actually heard of Lone Star adhesive and almost tried them out, but I have not. Thank you. Have not tried them out yet. I heard they have really good, see, it just generated the exact same thing that I had, but it now is in SVG form. So what I'm now going to do, except it should all be the same layer, and it's not looking. We're going to download your SVG. You are going to come back over to Design Space. Now to upload a file from our website, so first of all, if you want the tomatoes, let's go back to the Maker's Gonna Learn website, just so everybody is on the same page and we all know how to download files from the website. If you go over to our cut files section, and then you type in, I think it's like single tomato, tomato. Boom, here it is. To download, you're gonna press this arrow pointing down. That's going to download it from our website. And then to upload, we're gonna come back over here to Design Space, and you're gonna do it the same way, whether it is a generated file that you just did from the studio or one that you downloaded from our website. And then you're gonna come over here to upload. We're gonna go to upload image. I'm gonna bring my Finder back into view, like this. Gonna go to my downloads. Here is the single tomato SVG, and here is my ladybug. So I'm just gonna get my ladybug in here, continue, and upload. Boom. Now, I do want to look at my actual generated image and look at the layers, because let's just go ahead and ungroup and look at the layers separate. So it does kind of, in reality, I feel like it should have generated the solid black, all of it together. But it's okay that it didn't. But this is one that I don't even think we can really contour. It's okay. So actually, hear me out. Here's what I'm gonna do. If this happens to you, here's what we're gonna do. And I'm just thinking this through. Show all contours. I'm going to duplicate this guy, bring this guy in like this. Watch what I'm doing. I'm going to come back over here to contour. I'm going to contour out all of this like this. Apply. I know this sounds silly, but hear me out, guys. This is exactly where it should be. Like that. Lined up where it's touching everything. And I'm just going to select both of them. Nope, I didn't mean to slice. Go back, go back, go back, go back. Go back to where you were. Okay, we're gonna come to combine and unite these together. Boom. Now. Nope. Hold on. I'm thinking this through, guys. I'm really thinking this through. So we're gonna come back here. That's what we're gonna do. Okay, I figured it out. I figured it out. This is what you need to do. This is what we need to do. If it comes in not layered like you thought that it should, we're starting from this, and I'm just going to select all of this, not contour everything, come down here to combine and unite so that it is one solid shape. That's what I'm wanting. Now I can bring this over here and boom, pop this right there in front of it. and that's how we're going to line up the black with the red. Okay? That's what you're supposed to do. So let's do that from the beginning. If you create an SVG that you're like, okay, this is not exactly what I thought it was going to be, because sometimes I have noticed that on things like this, it created it exactly like we told it. Now, if I would have told it to create one solid black layer behind the red layer, it would have done it so when you go to ungroup and we pull this one away, we don't really want all of these dots to be separate. If we're doing a layered SVG, we want it to be as simple as we can. So we're duplicating the top, keeping this over here, leaving this exactly like it was when we found it, just like this, okay? Now we're just selecting both of these. We're coming down here to combine and uniting them together so that we have a solid black layer. And now we're only layering this red on top where we can see the black through it. Does that make sense? Beautiful. Okay, so now what you're gonna do is you are just going to size. Now, I told you guys I am making the ladybug, and actually I want the ladybug to be the one on the side. I want it to be on the side of these pants. Hide and watch me, and these whole pants may be ladybugs. I think the ladybugs with on the polka dotted pants is almost a no-brainer. Okay, so this one I said I had a 7x7 or an 8x8. So because it is a little bit, it's not a full square, I'm gonna make this one that's gonna go down the side. 8 inches in height and then 6 3/4 in width. And then from there, I'm just gonna duplicate and I'm just going to resize this based on the sizes that I made. So we had a 6x6, so we'll do a 6 and a 5.2 will be good. We'll do 2 of those right here. Then we had a smaller one, a couple smaller ones, so maybe do like I think that one's a good one, and we'll duplicate this one. And duplicate this guy down here. I accidentally just duplicated. I want to duplicate both of them. Right here, down here. Okay, so now we have 6 little ladybugs that we're gonna cut. And fun for you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and delete these. We do have a lot of other tomatoes already pre-cut. That way if I wanted to add tomatoes, I can, not a problem. But Sadie just went and grabbed me one of our cotton shirts. So this is gonna be a little bit different, a different kind of fabric that we are working with versus these are more of a woven fabric. You can see this one, oh gosh. I don't even know what that is. Okay, let's fold that back over. Yep, that was thrifted. That was a thrifted shirt. I don't know what that is. We're gonna lay that over there. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I said 6. Deborah, y'all are great at calling me out when I say the wrong thing. I love it so much. There are 5, not 6. My bad. Okay. So what we're gonna do first is we are going to prep our fabric before we go to cut. Now, how do you prep your fabric, Lauren? First of all, before you cut, you're going to add your heat and bond onto your fabric. That is what is going to make this cut, is making sure that this fabric is bonded, and that's going to help the Cricut, okay? So we're gonna turn our mini easy press on. I really need a Cricut one of these. Y'all, if you don't, the Cricut brand, that's all I'm gonna say. This one is fine and it gets the job done. Is it my favorite or the best? No. 2. We're doing it on a heat setting of 2. Now, while that is heating up, I am gonna go ahead, and this is an old, actually, before I cut up this t-shirt real quick, is there one over here that's black that I
find the fabric? I looked in the entire shelf and the fabric bin is not in there.
It's okay. It's all good. Well, I thought I might have had an older black t-shirt. Oh, I told you to go look for the fabric, but the fabric is literally right here, Sadie. Literally right here. My bad. And you're right. There is no just plain black fabric in here anyway. There's some black lace, but we're not going to do that. Okay, we're just going to stick with what we got. So I am going to pretty much just cut up my t-shirt to give myself enough fabric to work with. Now this is a great way to repurpose old t-shirts, old articles of clothing. It just gives new life to things that may not be getting used otherwise. Now I'm cutting a pretty large piece of this t-shirt out because I have a feeling that I'm going to be using quite a bit of black. And I want to cut as many of these on one thing as I get. So I'm also going to cut off this bottom piece. We're not going to add this in, so I'm just going to chop this one off here. Like that. Beautiful. And now what we're going to do is we are going to add our heat and bond. So what I like to do is I'm just going to roll this out, place it on top of my heat and bond, it's not heating bond, heat and bond in actually. Okay. Cut a slice out that's about the same size as your fabric. Boom. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start bonding this onto our fabric. I like to do it from this side, and also I am going to grab our pressing mat. I'm going to grab we have a little bit of a larger one here. Let me just grab it. Another thing you want to make sure that you do when you are doing this, if you are using a pressing mat or you are using a towel, if your heat and bond is larger than your piece of fabric, just be very, very careful where you actually put your mini easy press, because if it is overhanging onto your pressing mat or whatever, it will stick to your pressing mat. So just be careful, okay? So I've laid this out, taking this, and we are going to bond this to our black fabric. Now you can kind of see when it's bonded. You can see down here in the corner, this is different than this. So we're just going to work our way over, making sure we get enough heat onto our fabric to bond it. I want to see exactly like where my fabric ends over here, so that I try my best not to ruin our pressing mat. And then I like to turn, oh, look. See, I did a little something, something here. Did I? Yeah. So this, sometimes this happens, but it's okay. We'll just cut that corner off. So I accidentally folded this corner down. Not a big deal. You can also bond it from this side. Once again, just know that the closer you get to that heat and bond, if you get it on your iron, it is going to straight up stick to your iron, okay? Making sure it just gets on there really good. Giving it a little bit more heat on this side. Boom. So now we have our bonded fabric. I'm gonna cut off this excess here. Like this. I really need to cut this corner off right here. Actually, let's see if we can get that bonded right here. So that way we don't lose that. And then we can cut off the excess over here. Boom. And there we go. Now we have our bonded black fabric. So what I'm gonna do now, we're gonna hop back over to Design Space. We have our 5 ladybugs here. I'm gonna go to the Make It screen. Okay, so we, for some reason, looks like we have some cuts in here. So let's just go to cancel real quick. And let's, because I can't contour. So, but I'm not really sure why it's giving me those cuts, because it should not. Oh, I see it now. Do you see them? Okay, so what we might have to do, watch this. Can we merge layers and then contour and hide all? No. It wasn't lining up all exactly as it should have. Apply. It's still got that one. Okay, let's try this again. This is not, honestly guys, it should not be this hard. I'm just adding another layer to this because I'm a silly girl. I'm just a very silly girl. Okay, so we're gonna come down here. I'm gonna go to Combine, Undo, Unite. We're gonna zoom in. That should be up. This layer should be there. And then Combine, Unite. Now, hear me out. Let's go to Make It and see if that one. Okay. Well, that's not working like I thought it would. So let's just be advised. Let's merge and then contour. That's so odd, so silly. Okay, so now it's showing and then apply. And then we go to Make It. There's still wings. Okay. Change of plans. We're going back to the tomatoes because I'm not trying to confuse you guys. We're not about that life. So we're just going to delete all these out. The joys of being live. Also, what's going on? Okay, we're just going to bring the tomatoes back because they are made to do. Now, I don't want to go back into the SVG generator just because, hear me out, you could have done this where we cut out the body, laid down the red, and then put the dots over top of it. You can still do that. I was just trying to make it easier, and in reality, I wasn't making it any easier for you guys. So I'm just going to pull these tomatoes back in, and we're just going to stick with the tomatoes. Okay, guys? Donna said contour all the dots out of the red layer first. I'll try that real quick. Why not for you guys? Let's go ahead and add it since we're already here. Okay, so we are going to first duplicate this, bring it over here, and then this one, we're going to hide all contours. I don't know why it did that. Apply, solid, boom. Actually, we need to ungroup, and then here, combine, unite. And then let's just see what it looks like on the Make It screen. Oh, that was it. Donna's a genius. Donna is a genius. So what you need to do, back to the ladybugs, guys, back to the ladybugs. What you need to do if you find yourself in a predicament like this is how we work through real world problems together with all of our brains together, okay? Once again, let's go from the beginning. Let's add this to Canvas so that you all can see how this came in. So no matter what you do, you always are going to want to look at your SVG to see how it is put together, okay? So we know we want this solid shape here versus we want the black to be all one layer and the red to lay over top of it. So what we did, I'm just going to go back so that it's, before moving any of this, do not move it. We are going to work from our layers panel. I'm duplicating this, moving it over to the side, grabbing this, contouring out all of the circles here. You can do hide all contours, but it does get rid of one of the wings. Apply. So now it's a solid red over a solid black, selecting both of these, combining and uniting them together, okay? Then what we saw after that, when we go to make it, it is a solid black and there are not any of those extra cut lines that we need. Beautiful, and now we can bring this guy back in. And so now we have our ladybugs. We're back on track. So this one is, we said we were gonna do we'll do a 8.5 by around 7. This one we are gonna do smaller. Did I do like a 3 by something? There we go. We'll do 2 of these. Boom, boom. This is gonna go around the side of the pants, and then I'm going to duplicate this one. This is gonna be a larger one, so we'll do 6 by 5, 6 1/4 by 5, and then duplicate. Okay, once again, we are back on track with the ladybugs. Beautiful. Okay, now we're gonna go to make it. Now you can see we have a couple different pieces together. I'm actually gonna move this one to this guy because I know there's room. Tell me why. Tell me why Cricut didn't automatically put it on the same one. Anyway, here is going to be our first one. So I'm going to need to cut my black fabric down to 12 by 12. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm going to lay this down, fabric side down on the mat. This is very important, okay? Very important that you want to put your fabric side down on your mat. Why, you may ask? And that is because it gives you a much cleaner cut on your machine if it is cutting against that bonded side of the fabric and not trying to cut across the fabric fibers. Okay. Boom. That is clearly not straight. It is fine. And then here. Now I am going to grab my brayer. I'm going to bray this down really well onto the mat. And I'm actually going to leave this here, okay? I'm not going to take this off just because I also think that it helps get a cleaner cut, if you want my honest opinion. Now, because of that, because we are laying our fabric upside down, if we were not working with a symmetrical shape, actually, let's just go ahead and go back to our share screen. It does not matter what type of it does not matter what type of shape. If you are doing this, you need to get in the habit of mirroring your design. Okay? We want to mirror this whole mat. It doesn't look like it changes because it's a symmetrical shape, but we want to get in the habit. Tony, yes, it is simple if you want to just do the tomatoes. It's literally pulling the tomatoes in, sizing them, and cutting them. I did it a little bit different where we generated an SVG in our image generator, but there are plenty of files on the Makers Gonna Learn website where all you have to do is download and size. Okay? Now we're getting into the actual like cutting and the technique part of this project. So after you have done that, I'm gonna come over here to continue. We are going to browse all material, and we are doing this on our Explorer 5. And I'm going to type in bonded, and we are going to do with medium fabrics like cotton bonded. That's what we are cutting this on. We only have to use our fine point blade, and then we are going to bring it over here to our machine and press play, and we're going to start the process. So while that is cutting, Carol said, is fabric supposed to be on pink mat? Fabric can be on pretty much whatever mat that you want. I'm doing it on a stronger mat. There isn't a difference. The only difference is the tack of the mat. A fabric mat is still going to be around the same tack as a stronger mat. Now, if you have a Maker Series machine, one thing that I want you to be aware of is the fact that you can use a rotary blade if you want to, but it is not necessary. Also, we're cutting cotton t-shirt right here, so it may not be as smooth as a woven style fabric. I'm just gonna be completely 100% honest with you all. I've done this on the fly and it's making me think maybe I shouldn't have done this on the fly. Yes, a cotton material with a cotton t-shirt, because I do feel like it could have been a little bit better. Like it could have been just a little bit smoother. And actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and take, I'm literally not moving, I'm not taking this off of the mat. I'm gonna leave this off the mat, but I am gonna take this off. And I think I'm gonna send this through one more time, because like I said, a t-shirt material is going to be a little bit different than a woven material. And this is just so it doesn't have another layer to cut through. I don't know if you all can see, but it did cut through. It's just, after checking my cuts, it's almost like I want it to cut through just a little bit more on like some of these smaller pieces. So I'm just taking that backing off and I'm going to hit play again. Yes, the knit does pull more than a woven cotton. So just keep that in mind. If you do use t-shirt material, you are definitely going to want to check your cuts. I am gonna also, let's just go ahead and get this red prepped and ready. I love this red picnic like gingham here. Trying to look and see if there is a right and wrong side to this gingham. There normally is, so always check your fabrics. So once again, we are bonding this the same way, but I do want to show you how much easier it can be to cut a woven fabric versus a cotton knit fabric in some instances. And this is going to be the top part of our ladybug. Okay, I'm bringing in, I've got a lot here on the table. I'm trying to do a lot at once. Now, I should have already bonded this, but it's okay. Let's get this added here. I've got my heat press on a heat setting of 2. Will you cut twice or is it not necessary? Listen, if there's one thing that you all need to get used to doing, look, I told y'all not to do it and I did it anyway. It did bond to my, my mat. Now I'm gonna have to be careful. You can scratch it off. It's not the easiest. Any Hoosier, back to our regularly scheduled programming. You always need to get used to checking your cuts just in case. Like, for example, yesterday I was cutting HTV on one of our machines, a material that we have cut for years, time and time again, never had an issue, but for some reason, my machine yesterday wanted to give me issues. Why? There really is no reason. Actually, it was because my blade was dirty and I didn't know it. But because I got in the process, like got used to checking my cuts, I was able to check my HTV and from there was able to send it through again. So no matter what you're cutting, you always need to double check your cuts before you unload your mat. Once you unload your mat, you can't do anything. You can't cut in the same area twice, okay? So back over here, once again, I'm checking my cuts by pulling up part of the design here, and that cut through. So let's go ahead and unload this. Bringing it over here, I can now it did snag in a couple places. Did y'all see how it snagged down here a little bit? Once again, this is real life. This is the difference between a woven and a knit fabric. A knit fabric is going to snag that blade a little bit more than a woven fabric, okay? Just like this right here. It just kind of snagged that. Here's a little snag. But honestly, y'all, for the most part, cutting a t-shirt, that is, with a fine point blade, I don't think it could have gone much better. Like, I think that looks really, really good. Now, once again, the smaller your pieces are, the more chances you have of it snagging. Here's this. Let me grab this True Control knife, because these are smaller. And it is, because it's a knit, it might be a little bit stretchy. See how those small details, like on the antennas right here, aren't like super duper great. Also, I think I loaded this knit fabric the wrong direction. So that's also going to play a role in how well your cuts do if you are working with knits. Maybe this is whole show I'm just teaching you, don't work with knit fabrics when it comes to cutting on your Cricut. Boom. Okay, so there's my 3 ladybugs. I'm actually not going to cut the other ones just because of time and everything else. This is something else that is probably going to occur. No fear. I don't think we have any baby wipes in here, but you can use baby wipes, and it's super easy to get all of this excess off with baby wipes. No problem, but I do want to show you how much easier it is to cut a woven fabric like this one. So I'm going to add this on, and I bet, yeah, I'll have enough to make, yeah, I'll definitely have enough to make those. Okay, beautiful. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna cut this excess off over here. Like this. Grabbing my brayer. Gonna move this out of the way. I'm gonna bray this down really good, because also you don't want to have wrinkles in your fabric when it goes to cut, or it can snag. So like, do y'all see this right here? Probably no bueno. So I need to pull that up and straighten that back out. So much better. Back to our share screen. We're gonna grab, we gotta go back to it. Ooh. Okay. We're gonna go to cancel actually. Because I need to move the 2 smaller ones. I don't need these larger ones. I need this smaller one to here and here. And I'm actually going to move these 2 over here like this to this mat, and this one over here like these. And then it goes down to, okay, I've got plenty of room. Beautiful. So now we're gonna go to, remember, we're doing this upside down, so we're turning mirror on, although they are symmetrical shapes, and then we're gonna go to continue. We are going to browse all material. We are using bonded cotton, or like medium fabrics like cotton here. Done. And then I'm going to load my materials over here like this and hit play. And I kind of wish that I would have checked my blade. Sorry guys, I kind of wish I would have checked my blade and cleaned it off before sending it to cut, but here we are. I think you're going to be impressed about how well this cuts right here. Okay? Sorry, I'm reading over your comments. Does anybody have any questions so far? Anything at all? Now, while that is cutting, I am going to kind of map out where I want my design. Remember, I said I kind of wanted to do this on the side, but it's actually kind of, is it a little big to go on the front? Should we do it on the back? I don't really want something like right there on my butt. I think I'm gonna do it on the side. Like I said, I was intended to begin with. So I am laying my pants sideways like this. This is gonna go along the side seam. And then I'm just going to adjust this here where it kind of lays right in the middle. You can see it from the side. So really this area right here, we'll go to our share screen, or front camera. Sorry, I didn't mean to say share screen. Where I'm putting it, it would land kind of like right here on the side, which I think is a really good area. So I'm actually just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna iron this one down. We're just gonna commit. Yeah, we're committing. And it really is as simple as just, now we're bonding this. Now I do think I'm gonna turn this up to a 3. Now another trick to this, especially if you are working with a knit fabric, to keep it in place, try not to move your mini easy press like around as much. Do more of a press, pick up, press, pick up. Especially with these smaller pieces, you're going to want to make sure they are laid down exactly where you want them. And then what we'll do here in just a minute, we're just gonna press that down like this without moving it around. And now do you see how perfect that is? Now we're gonna press this one. Pick up. And then once it has all been adhered down, then you can add more heat and you can move your iron around a lot more. Like now that this is down, we'll move all of this around. But once again, remember, we are working with a stretchy knit this is a stretchy knit fabric, not one that I would first thing recommend. If you are new to this, I would not recommend it, but it can be done, okay? If you are new, I would stick with a nice woven fabric. Beautiful. Okay, now let's go back over to our Cricut. This is first cut butter, literally butter. But we're checking our cuts. Look at that. Beautiful. So we're going to go ahead and unload. Now you can kind of see the difference between a woven and a knit. How much easier that cuts. Literally one tiny little baby snag. That's not really even much. And then this one, no snag at all. None there. Beautiful. And done. Boom. Okay. So now, same thing. We are going to take our, I spoke too soon. There's a little tiny snag right here on the circle. It's okay. You're going to want to make sure you take your backer off right here. Like that. And then we are placing this down on our ladybug. Now I'm going to go ahead and line this up. I am so excited. It is so cute. And it kind of, I'm definitely going to have to go back and do some solid red ones too with this checked red. Ah! Okay, I'm starting to get a little bit more excited about this. Hide and watch me wear these you'll be seeing me in these.
The 4th of July was coming up, but it's not.
I know. Imagine wearing, like, if you, go to one. I have the cutest idea. I'm gonna have to make this. Imagine a sweatshirt or pants or whatever. Ants. And then you have a picnic basket.
A little picnic. That would be really cute.
Catch me opening an Etsy shop with little designs like this. Anyway, okay, back overhead. Here is we've lined it up. Once again, I really think it's best if you're doing if you're doing a layered one, we're pressing, picking up, putting down, okay? If you have an actual press and you want to press it all at one time, by all means, like that is a phenomenal, not press it all at one time as in you're pressing this and this together. I'm just saying like pressing the whole, like after we've layered, pressing it together, you can definitely do that. I am so excited. Y'all, first of all, I don't know if I've ever told you all the story about me and ladybugs, as I called them growing up. I used to be like deathly afraid of ladybugs. Like I used to dream, when I was a child, I would have nightmares about ladybugs because at my grandmother's house, it was like she had an infestation of them. Like, you know, when they're bad, they're like real bad. And around her windows, there were just so many. Once again, she was a very, very clean lady. It's just sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes you just get it they just get in your house, just like stink bugs. Also, I hate stink bugs. Okay, let's go.
That is so
Okay. I'm obsessed. Did this one, you also need to double check and make sure that it bonded really well. I feel like there is spiders for Halloween would also be super duper cute. There is so many different things that you can do with this. Like a little trout would be cute on some. So let's go ahead and lay these back down. Now let's decide where we want our other little ladybugs. I feel like I need one right here, but we're gonna turn him sideways a little bit. Or maybe we'll do it. Okay. I'm definitely gonna have to cut out a few more. Now this one is the one that had its little antenna was kind of a little wonky. So I'm trying to fix his antenna first. Okay, we're gonna put him right there, and I'm actually gonna start with the antennas. Beautiful. Ghosts, literally so many. When landing your products that you have used heat and bond on, when, I'm assuming laundering, when washing, do not use fabric softeners. Some softeners will loosen the glue. If you want me to be honest, I've stayed away from fabric softeners with all my clothes for a long time at this point. I just feel like, and some people are different. Some people really like a good fabric softener. I've just found that I've had fabric softener ruin so many of my clothes that I just completely quit using it altogether. Like getting downy spots. Have you ever got those like oily downy spots on your clothes? Well, I used to wash clothes, and I felt like I would get, especially if do not use fabric softener on your towels. It's not, you can't like dry off as well with it. Anyway, we stopped using it on our towels when I was little. And that's kind of when I just altogether kind of stopped using fabric softener, period. The black fabric, yes, Michelle, I use white vinegar as well. My sister, funny, shout out Meredith. She's a funny girl sometimes. She loves vinegar so much, and she also uses vinegar as her fabric softener. And I have caught her at her house when she's doing laundry. She'll just like tip the vinegar up into her mouth and drink her some vinegar. It is a different kind of love for vinegar. The black fabric is an old t-shirt. The black fabric is t-shirt material. Not something that I would start out with if you've never done done like a fabric applique like this. It is a little bit more, it's a little, I wouldn't say harder, but it is stretchier, so you just have to be careful, and you probably will have to have your Cricut cut it twice because the blades will snag on the fabric a lot easier than it will with like a woven material like this fabric, like a fat quarter fabric. Okay, we're just taking the backing off. And the fun thing about this is you can layer as many fabrics on top of each other as you want. It'll just keep bonding to itself or bonding to the other fabrics underneath. So we're just lining this up like that, and then taking our little mini easy press, tacking it down first, and then I'll add some more to it in just a second. Now, another thing you may want to think about, I don't know if you all noticed, but when I layered this fabric on top of this black, it's like it kind of dulled the white just a little bit. You do have to think about that when layering, because when you have a darker fabric underneath, it may show through just a little bit. So if you want crispy whites, you don't want to do a darker fabric underneath. But I still think it looks totes adorable. Let's go to one. That looks so cute. Where should my other one be? Should it be on the front or should it be on the back?
I was thinking the front close to the bottom, like it's going up your leg.
So on which side? On this side, on the bottom? On the same side as the other little one, or on the side of the big one?
I almost want to say the side of the big one.
I'm gonna cut more of these out. I think it needs more. It needs a few more. I'm gonna add a few more, but since we only have the 3 cut out right now, I almost feel like
Honestly, either leg was cute.
I kind of want to do it this side. I'm leaning this way, actually. I'm leaning the 2 smaller ones on this leg right here, like this. And we'll just do them like in a little different direction. Maybe even like more up here, like this. I think will be cute. Okay, cool. Do you need to use a Teflon sheet when pressing fabric? I haven't done a fabric project yet. It depends on what type of project you're doing. With this one, you do not have to. The only reason that I would use a Teflon sheet on this one is if I did not want to get any of the heat and bond on my actual heat plate, okay? Oh, Lisa said do a pure, like a pure red one on the front. And I like that. I think if we did another one, like when I cut more of them out, I'll do like a solid red one here and a solid red one like here up top, and then I'll do this one on the back. You right, you right. We do need to put this one on the back. So let's put him maybe just like straight up on the pocket. Could it be cute? Maybe like, oh, let's do it right there on kind of like on the side pocket. Now that is the same side as that one, but we have another one over here. Yeah, we'll just go right here on this side. It's good. It's all good. So we'll switch it up and do a solid red one, and then we'll do this one right here. You all have some beautiful ideas for things like this. I cannot wait to see what you all create. And y'all, this is so easy, so easy. Upside down would have been cute, but we've got him positioned on here now. I can't wait to see how you all recreate this and what you all do. This would be so cute. Maybe take an old denim jacket. There's so many things that you can do with this. And honestly, y'all, this is a sellable craft right now if I've ever seen it. If I've ever, like, if you are ready, if you want to try to start selling, this is something that, like, imagine, okay, so it's back to school time. Have you all have seen all of the senior jeans? Like, which they are painted, granted, most of them are painted on, but imagine how much easier it would be to do senior jeans where you've just cut out the letters with your Cricut and ironed it on.
I was gonna say, imagine like Tennessee Balls jeans.
Tennessee Balls jeans, like sports team jeans, like there's so many different things that you can do with this that people will pay big money for. Some bees with the ladybugs would be cute. So many really, really cute ideas, y'all. I am obsessed. But this is it. This is the extent of, once you cut it, once you size and cut it, this is it. Done. We have our ladybug jeans. This is on the side, front. I definitely need to add more. This is on the back. I don't think I can put these over these jeans. We can try. They might be a little small, a little snug over top of these. Somebody said a snake would be cute. It would be. Yeah, these are a little snug over top of these, but I'm obsessed with these. These are super duper darling. Okay, these actually might be a little closer than I thought, but it's okay. We'll add some solid red ones. These are still really cute. They look a little weird because I do have my actual jeans on. So, what did you guys think about today's project? Sorry, I'm taking these off. If it had been a snake, it would have bit you. Yes, 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 yes. I ironed on Dollar Tree fabric to vinyl covered coaster on. I'm trying to figure out what you said. Anyway, what did you guys think? Now that I put those on, I do think that these were a little close. It is still very cute. It is still very cute. And what I could do if I really wanted to, I could probably cover one of these up and look. I tried to iron it. I tried it on before it dried down, before it that's why it's very important to wait and let it cool down before stretching it and doing it, is because I put them on, and so it kind of stretched that fabric a little bit right here. You see what it did? So you've got to let it cool down. You have to let that fabric cool down before you start stretching it. And that's just gonna help it bond to the fabric underneath it, okay? Just so you are aware. And I,
Like little quilt squares.
quilt squares would be so cute. I actually think
So cute.
it did stretch that out. And now it's not gonna bond back down. I'm actually gonna take this off because it is still warm, and I'm gonna reposition it here in a minute. But you all get the gist. This is still very hot. Let me be clear, this is still very hot. This is the only reason that I can take this off, is because it is still warm. It does leave a residue. I'm just taking it off because, and I can't get these off right now, but you can heat it back up. If you do put it in a wrong position while it is still hot, once you kind of pull it away, now I'm concerned that I won't get those off. I'm gonna reposition this one, and I'm gonna put it upside down, like Lisa suggested. I'm gonna have to put something here. But where I tried them on, it stretched this fabric and it took that bond off. So I'm gonna redo this. That is why it is important. Go back to 1. That is why it is very important for you all to wait and let the actual glue sit for at least 48 hours before I threw it in a washer. While it is still hot, don't go trying it on like I just did. Because that's what happened when I put it on. I stretched the fabric. It wasn't cooled down. It didn't have time to sit. So it stretched it off, just so you know. What laundry instructions do you need to do? So it says on the heat and bond thing, it says to gentle cycle, machine wash, no steam. When you are ironing, you don't want steam. Iron it on a medium setting once you launder. If you want to iron it, you can. I probably wouldn't add a lot of heat after putting it down. Even after washing, I don't think I'd do a lot of heat. No steam iron, machine wash, delicate cycle, warm water, tumble dry, delicate cycle, do not dry clean. If you want my opinion, I would do a machine wash, delicate cycle, hang to dry. That's always gonna be the best. Yes, Lisa, do as I say, not as I do. I'm gonna teach you the ways not to do it and the ways to do it. But you're gonna see proof of ways not to do it. And don't do what I just did, and don't get excited, and don't try it on before the actual adhesive has had time to sit. There we go. Deborah says, I have a jean dress, time to get to work and make this. Yes, a cute little denim jean dress would be so cute to like upcycle and put little fabric appliques on. I love it, love it, love it, love it. So thank you guys so very much for being here. Once again, if you for some reason got a little bit confused because of the work that we were doing in Design Space, what you need to look for is look for simple SVGs for this project. Or if you want to create simple SVGs, you can with the MGL Plus Studio, the SVG generator. But if you are just looking for SVGs, you want to find SVGs that are simple. So I'm actually getting into the Maker's Gonna Learn website. I'm gonna show you maybe some ones that would be best for a simple design. So like, this one is a pretty simple design. It could be cute, especially if you made it larger. You could use this one, is gonna be a really cute design. This one would be good, but you're probably gonna want to contour out some of those little detail pieces inside. These two, not good files to use. You're not gonna wanna use files like this. These bats would be simple enough. Actually, specifically, this one in the middle would probably be a really good one because it doesn't have as much detail as these little ones here. So one of those, you could contour out all of those pieces and leave that one. It's freaking bats. It's Halloween. I love Halloween. I would probably, in my opinion, stay away from a lot of typography, just because it can get a little tricky sometimes with these smaller pieces like this little tail of the S. You may want to be cautious of, but you want to, like I said, you want to try to find something that is a little bit more on the simple side is going to be the best when it comes to these, or a really good layered SVG, okay? So let's go back to one. Anna says, how do I fix a printable iron-on design that I had previously ironed to a shirt, which is coming up? A printable iron-on design, it depends on what type of product you use. If you used Caesar DTV, you can simply iron it back down. The Caesar DTV is my favorite because you can iron it back down, but once again, you need to wait no less than 48 hours before you launder it, okay? Sometimes with printable HTV, we wear it and then wash it way before we ever should. If it's another brand, you can try to iron it back down if you want to, if it's a printable iron-on design. But always, always, no matter what, if you have made something, whether it is with a fabric applique like we have done today, HTV, printable iron-on, you want to try your best to wash it inside out, gentle cycle, hang to dry. Okay, so once again, thank you guys so very much for being here with us today. I have enjoyed showing you all how to do this. Once again, it can be a very, very simple project. We did spend a little bit of time in Design Space just kind of manipulating some files, but I hope you all learned something and learned how to think outside the box. Once again, thank you, Donna, for helping me. In my brain, I was doing it one way, but sometimes us seeing how other people's brains work, we learn so much more to see how other people think things through. So creating that and manipulating files, I hope you all learned a little bit more of how to do that. So thank you guys so much for being here. If you are not an MGL Plus member and you want to either use this tomato file to create something, first of all, these are adorable. Love them. Or if you want to create your own SVGs to make some adorable little appliques for your own clothes, make sure you grab your trial. It's only $1. It gives you access to our website for a week. Sadie has dropped the link, so go ahead and click that and grab your $1 trial membership. And thank you guys so much for being here. We will see you back here on the channel next week. Bye, guys.